Excellent. All right, well, it's my pleasure now to introduce us to Steph, who is from Jungle Design Studios. So, Steph and I catch up almost every week or every fortnight online for virtual drinks with a group of people that, or digital marketers and the like, that we hang out. And she's someone that has got a lot of knowledge in terms of digital marketing. And she's been into web development. She's in marketing, and currently is working in the field of branding. So she's on the Gold Coast, and she's got a heap of knowledge to share with us tonight. And tonight it's all about the 5 psychology-based and strategy-driven brand hacks to effortlessly connect and convert your audience at whatever price you want. So I'd like to welcome Steph, and I will sort of hand the screen over to her if I can find it again. So, are you here, Steph? Let's just unmute you. There we go.
Oh,
awesome.
hello.
Awesome. There you are.
Can you hear
me? The screen is yours.
The screen. All right.
Now let's see if we can share that. I've lost all of my controls once again. How does this happen? Okay.
Do I get to share my screen?
You get to share your screen. Can you find the share at the bottom of your screen there?
No kidding. That's cool. Let's see here. Yep. Give me a second and I will get it.
All right.
Open. Oh, I can't share while you're sharing. Oh wait, here we go.
Here we are. The controls are hidden. Let's stop that and try that now.
Portion of the screen. Uh-oh.
All right, everybody see Steph's screen there? Awesome, excellent. So all looking good.
Hold on. Whoop. Oh. How's that?
That's looking perfect.
Can you see it?
We're getting thumbs up all over the place, so it looks like we're on fire.
All right, sweet. Hopefully this works out. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me, Nick. Yes, I saw your video this morning, and I was cracking up because you're so right. Branding is so misunderstood. So many people think that, especially when a lot of people online and Facebook put their hand up and say they're branders when they only do logo design and graphic design, and that is not the case. Yes, logo design is part of it, but if you imagine a big puzzle, a logo is just a piece of the puzzle, right? You don't understand what a company is about if you can only see their logo. Does a logo tell you what they do, or you know, what they're about, how they can help you, or the problems they can solve? Totally no. So branding is massive. It's super in depth. There's a lot going on to it. So today I'm just going to give you some really easy hacks that I've got around branding that you can take away and use ASAP without having to pay a fortune to get it done. Well, you should anyway, because, you know, branding. But this will definitely help you connect with your audience more, as well as convert them, right? Because that's the name of the game, isn't it? So this is what I want to get you to get out of this, right? So we're going to use psychology here to connect with your audience on a deeper personal level, so they actually want to buy what you're offering, rather than, you know, you're getting lost in the noise, right? And there's another strategy that I will share that is really effective at turning your audience into loyal customers and followers, which if people can't find you, can't see you, and can't hear you, they can't buy from you. So it's really important that you connect with your audience, because I've talked to so many people who say, you know, I love what I do, I've got it going on, people are commenting and stuff, but nobody's buying. And it's really hard to get paying clients, right? I'm sure everybody has run into that. Well, these strategies are going to help. And there is another one that it's really good at pulling you in front of the noise in a really crowded marketplace, especially now that everybody and their brother is online because of COVID-19, right? And I just wanted to make this super easy for your audience to choose you over your customers. I mean, your competitors. So let's just get into it. Yes. Oh, right. So when you don't have effective branding, right, you find yourself serving everyone and anyone, but at the same time, no one. And that's not the way to gain a loyal following. Like, you think about Apple, how they have people who hate them and they have people who absolutely love them that will line up for hours outside their store to buy whatever they are releasing, right? So, and then there's the other side of the coin where people actually hate them. They hate Apple. It's a love-or-hate relationship. I'm on the hate side. I hate to say hate, but I do not like Apple. I am a PC girl and an Android girl. But their branding does that, and it's perfect because when you're polarizing, the people that actually are attracted to you are all in, and they will buy whatever you're putting out, right? And if you don't have your branding sorted out properly, you're going to compete on price. You're going to be one of 35 commenters on a Facebook post. For example, in my field, someone's looking for a logo in a business group and 105 people comment, and they're all saying, oh, I'll do it for 50, I'll do it 150, I'll do it for 69, you know, and it's a price competition. If you actually know who your customer is niched down and how you can help them, you don't have to compete on price. And yeah, that's the beauty of branding. So getting out of that space and becoming a brand that connects with your clients is my 5 C's. And I love this. I love the way I've got like 5 V's, 5 C's, and this cool little acronyms and stuff. But this is knowing your customer, your brand having a character, connecting the two of them, showing credibility, and being absolutely consistent across the board. That is the best way to connect and convert with your audience. So know your customer, right? This is the first one. And this is steps that you can actually take straight away when you get off this webinar or tomorrow or whenever you get to it. But you need to know your customer, get into their head. When you can show them through your words and your message that you totally understand what they're talking about, and it connects with them and they understand what you're talking about, you're going to sell to them. It's not, you have to get out of your own language and use their language. And that is the best way to do that is market research, right? So just without any kind of a pitch or anything, you need to talk to a few people that are in your ideal client base and ask them a lot of questions. And you have to take notes like a madwoman or madman, like just go crazy with the notes, because your hooks, introductions, and your messaging on your sales pages, your website, or wherever you're doing some kind of a promo or maybe an ad, you want to use their language, and they're going to think that you are in their head, and it's eerie. It's like, wow. Have you ever had that happen to you where you're like, oh, they're talking about me? Yeah. This is how you do that. So you just ask them, right? You ask them straight up, and you ask their pains, problems. It's best to get on the phone to do this, because when you're on the phone, you can actually ask why, and keep asking why. When you're just doing it by messenger, it's really easy to surface level find out this stuff, and you really want to dig deep, because the deeper you go, the easier it is for you to address these deep problems and show that you can solve them. And when you can do that, people are like, take my money. So take crazy notes, use their words in your copy, and it will like create a really, really deep connection with them. So the second one is character, right? So this is the second hack. Your brand, there's a reason we call it a brand identity, and it's not because your logo is a visual and, you know, like identity is, ooh, all the graphics and stuff in my stationery and corporate letterhead, corporate identity. No, brand identity, as far as I'm concerned, comes with the fact that your brand should have character. It should have a personality. It should have vibes and a voice. And that's how you show up online. It allows people to connect with you like your brand is another human. It's human to human contact we want. It's not business to business, it's human to human. So you need to define what kind of identity your brand has. What kind of character is it, right? Is it professional, totally proper professional, wears suits? Or is it something that's, you know, say you're like a naturopath or in the yoga or something, you're going to be your character is going to be completely different, right? So you need to define that and show up that way. And it keeps you from being robotic or sounding like a textbook, you know, like the old school way of writing on websites, my experience is blah, blah, blah. We don't want that. We want the story, the character, the identity behind the brand. And it's really easy to go into your website about page, your bios, places wherever you're showing up, even LinkedIn, and really get human, you know, become the characteristics of your brand when you write. You know, here we go on this slide is, are you reserved or outspoken, professional or casual, fun or serious? And if you're consistent about it, people are going to start to recognize that. I have been told many times when I go to networking events and they meet me, they're like, oh, you're the branding chick. Well, awesome. That must be my branding at work, right? When someone can read a post or part of a post or an article or an email and know who it is before they actually look at who wrote it, that is effective branding. You want to be recognized as someone's friend, as someone they would recommend like as a person, but your brand has to be like that as well. And a really fun way of figuring out your character is to think abstractly about it. Like, what would be its personality if it was your friend? How would you describe its fashion style? What would it wear if it was, you know, just hanging out? And where would it hang out? Would it hang out at the beach? Would it hang out at a coffee shop? Would it be, you know, the top floor of the Emporium in Brisbane? Would it be at the Brisbane Club? Find out, you know, work out what these little nuances is and apply that everywhere in your branding. Just infuse it and it becomes like its own person, which is really easy for people to connect to. And that's why it's my hack number 2. If I'm going too fast, let me know, or if I'm talking too fast, or if you have any questions. But the next is connection, right? So you want to connect. It's basically everything I've talked about now is connection. Everything is connection. Having the character and knowing the customer and getting in their head and speaking like them creates a really, really, really good connection. It's the reason for this is people buy based on emotion, right? You've got this reptilian brain going on, then you've got your the frontal one, the intellectual brain, and the mammalian brain. The first thing people do is judge with like their gut, right? What's my gut feeling? What's my emotional response? And then they rationalize with logic. So the heart makes a decision and the brain verifies. So when you get into their head by really knowing the customer and doing your market research and speaking like them, and your brand becomes a character, the connection is kind of, it's like subconscious, maybe rather more than psychology, because what works on the inside, you get these feelings and you know you want to buy something, so you back it up with the details and benefits. So start with the emotional side, the connection, and then apply your logic. So when you're doing any of your marketing, you want to tell stories, paint the picture, use imagination. It's like subconscious selling, like imagine this, blah, blah, blah. And people go, yeah, I want to feel like that. And then you put the details to where their logical brain can say, okay, cool, this is how it's going to get done. I'll take it, right? Does that make sense? So after you've got, you know, connections, the next thing is credibility. This is also something you can do straight away. You want to, now that you've connected with someone, you need to back it up. So everybody looks at testimonials. Before you buy something, you go to the testimonials, the case studies, the reviews, the feedback, and you make sure that other people have had success with this person before you buy it. So it silences the natural skepticism. It makes it easier for people to say yes. So what can you do? You can put your licenses, degrees, trainings and stuff on your website. This is why a lot of websites put that they've been featured on Forbes, Entrepreneur, Inc. This is the reason that people do that, because when you're published or you've got these credentials, you're more credible, right? And you're more of an expert and an authority. So you can list spotlight publications you've appeared in, include logos of past clients, testimonials, social proof, share stats or specific results. It's a really, really easy way to get people over the line when you want to convert them. So credibility is very important. And the final brand hack is consistency. This is also the most important. I see so many times that people just kind of get willy with the stuff they're throwing around where it doesn't sound like them, or maybe they're sharing a post. You need to give yourself a bit of a checklist before you hit send or publish or go live anytime you put anything out on your brand or your business, because you want to make sure that the vibes are there, the personality, you're speaking to your customer, you've got your brand voice going on, that you're speaking their language, that everything is consistent, because consistency creates recognition. Especially when you repeat this over and over and keep showing up, the more consistent it is, the more people like it. The human brain hates inconsistencies. It tries to fix it. Or if they're confused or anything seems off, people go into the whole like no deal, right? So this, the most valuable part of marketing real estate is someone's mind, right? Their brain. You want to be top of mind. When your industry comes up, when someone needs you, you want referrals, or somebody's in the market to get something, you want to be the first one they think of. Do that by being consistent. You got to be consistent everywhere. Your messaging, your visuals, copy, language, tone of voice, the whole brand everywhere, online and offline. So those are my 5 brand hacks, right? Customer, know your customer, get into their head and write using their words. Character, give your brand an identity. Become a character, have a personality, and use that personality when you talk and when you show up. It will create a massive connection on a subconscious level where people will instantly like the whole know, like, and trust factor. Credibility, show people why they can trust you. You know, put the social proof up there. It shouldn't be hard to find. If you're new at stuff, you can put, you know, some credentials that you have or a case study of a client. And be consistent about it. That's the most important one. Be totally consistent. And I didn't mention logos once in that whole time, even though branding is your visual suite, your creative and all that stuff. It's so much more than that as well. So there you go. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I do, if I may. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Should
go
I stop
ahead.
sharing my screen? Sorry. There you go.
Yeah, I have a question about the character. Like I do my branding, and basically my garments, I actually make a product. I don't provide a service as such, Steph. And my branding's character is basically I try and turn everything back into the weather and natural elements. How do I give that a character per se? Like you're talking about a character like a person that you can have a conversation with. But mine
What is your business? Sorry?
I sell cycling wear.
Cycling wear.
Cycling wear and all the design.
Okay.
And so they don't want to get wet. They don't want to get, you know.
Yeah, I know. We can talk about wet and comfort, the cut, the fit, and all that. I go on to that infinitum, but just a specific question about the character. You're talking about the character, and you should speak as that character so you can connect with other people. How would that do? Like the characters then has to have a person, like a life. Like, I mean, I can bring it back like a storm has a life, or something like that. But what do you actually mean by that? That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. How about I give you an example first, and then I'll address yours.
Okay.
I had a client who is a painter, and he's, paints houses, garage doors, fences, stuff. And he's tired of doing that. He wants to level up, right? And paint inside shopping centers. He wants to do high rises, commercial buildings, industrial stuff, and get in touch with project managers of, builders and stuff. So he came and saw me, and we worked out his character. And it didn't have anything to do with painting. It has to do with his brand as its own person. So we dove into who he wants his clients to be and what level in the marketplace, what position he wants to be in the marketplace, and the kind of jobs he wants to get and projects he wants to run. And it's the high-end stuff. And he wanted to, when people have a look at it and get a feel for what he's writing, he doesn't want to be called for someone to say, hey, I need a feature wall in my house. No, he wants the big jobs. So we went through this exercise of who his character is. Like, who would it be if it was an actor? Is it male or female? We came up with James Bond. He wears Armani suits. He drives BMWs. He has nice watches. He's confident. It's premium. So his character is this bold, confident character, and we designed his whole brand around it, all of the messaging and the voice. He has, within, I reckon, less than a month with his new brand, he's already been painting all the high-end shops like Armani, Coach, Prada, inside shopping centers up in Brisbane. He's done a few high-rises. He's got a massive team, so it's crazy to think. I worked with him probably about 6 months ago now, and his level of work has skyrocketed because when he does a tender, they see that it's this premium person, not some tradie. Does that make sense? So for you, with your cycling wear, it doesn't matter what the materials are or what the elements are. It's who is this person? Is it a he or a she? Is it mostly males or females that are cycling, or is it unisex? Male. Okay, so we're going to go with the masculine character, right? And is he like hardcore cycling? So he gets up every morning. He's, kind of immaculate, but at the same time, he's a real physical freak. It really likes to be outside in nature if he's a cyclist. So you want to get into this character of who is that person? How does he act? What does he say? He's probably quite casual as opposed to someone who's wearing a suit.
Casual
as a brand character. So
Right.
what was that?
Yeah, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It's I'm just running through that in my mind, basically how I can actually produce a persona on something that I've done with this branding when it's actually not a persona per se, but a thing, like a storm. I mean, the whole thing, like Porphyra, means a storm, and so forth. So I just have to look. I don't want to hold you up. Maybe I talk about you.
That's all right.
In a separate sort of thing.
This is what I do with my clients. When you sit and talk to someone, you can extract this out. You can brainstorm and like create this persona. You've got a client avatar, and your brand is also an identity itself. So you got to figure out who they are and how they interact. So happy to talk to you if you want to. This is what I do.
Sure.
Yes, that's really good, because your avatar is more than just superficial, and so many businesses look at the avatar very superficial, and they don't go deep like you've just done, to take it to the next level. Yeah,
well, there's two. You've got an identity for your brand. Yeah,
that's right. It's not just branding. It's done. It's you really got to understand from them, and then you did marvelous. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
There's another question in the chat box here from Marty. Did you want to ask that question, Marty? Just unmute yourself there.
Yeah, sorry. Alan's here too, and he was just thinking of Little Coco's customers.
Just explain what Little Cocoa is. So that
Oh,
we know.
sorry. It's an artisan chocolate company that my daughter runs. She's not here this evening, but she has corporate clients, but she also does, for example, favors for weddings. And so that's the bride-to-be group is quite different from her corporate clients. And it's just sometimes hard to tease out, you know, one customer profile. I was just
There
wondering.
are no rules. There are no rules that says you have to have one type of customer.
Yeah, yeah.
You just have to create the profile for each one, because when you do an ad or marketing or any kind of promo for the wedding, you're going to talk to the bride or the mother of the bride, whoever is doing the ordering, right? You're speaking a whole different language. So you need to get in her head. And then you've got corporate. And if it's artisan chocolates, you're probably not going to be talking to any CEOs. You're going to be talking to the admin or the secretaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different way of talking. So you're going to separate it and have two different profiles for who your customer is. And you want to hit the pain points, the desires, where they're at, and a whole heap of criteria for each one, because you're going to speak completely different to both. But your brand is still an artisan chocolate company. You know, think about it as totally refined. You know, this is fine premium chocolate, artisan, boutique. So the character of your brand is completely different again. Does that make sense? Did that help?
Sure. Thank you.
So one of the things that people often speak about in digital marketing is that you must have an avatar and a particular customer type. And what I've noticed is that when people are thinking about an avatar, they're only thinking that there's only one. But what you're saying here is that no, there's many different avatars. You know, you in your business you may serve a number of different people or types. So the avatar isn't just that one blue character. There are many characters.
No, if you have any experience with doing ads or an ad manager or someone who's running your social media, when you can give these particular profiles or avatars or whatever you want to call it, ideal client profile, you give it to them, they're going to create a specific ad that speaks directly to that person. And business shouldn't ever just run one ad. You want to run a few, and you can isolate that to each one is different. It's going to have a different image. The bride is going to have a different image, different copy, different offer than the secretary for the corporate stuff. It's going to sound completely different and look different. People are afraid to niche down, but the more expert and specialized you are, the more money you make, the higher you can charge. Like, you don't go to a general practitioner for knee surgery. You go to them to get a prescription for, like, your back hurts or a cold or something. You go to a surgeon for a knee surgery and you pay a premium for it. So when you specialize and really niche down, you become an expert. And when you say no to people who are not in that niche because you know them so well and can serve them so well, that gives you more power as well. It's scary to say no to money, to a client, to a customer. But if you can do that a few times, people will start to really know, and word will get around that when someone needs you, I've got the perfect person. This is all they do. And they'll pay a premium for it.
If could I ask you, so how do we contact you if we're interested in going further?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
How could we contact you if we want to work further with you?
You can. I will just go ahead and put all of my details in the chat. How does that sound?
That's great.
I like that, Paulina. You've just jumped to the very last part.
I don't want to miss out, you know.
That is my email and phone number. You all feel free to call me. But I also want to say that on the back of what I've just given you, I have a mini course. There's only 3 parts to it. And it's something that's taken straight out my sessions when I work with people, my $1,500 strategy session. It's it's a really fun little part of it, and it dives into, it's my visibility formula, and it goes into the vibes of your brand, the visuals, the values, your voice, and the visibility of it. So when you use the formula together, it just skyrockets. It like collapses the timeline for hitting your goals, because everything is in such a 360-degree tight cohesive bond, which sounds totally intangible now that I'm saying it out loud. But yeah, I've got that. And I have a special for anybody here on right now. Does Bitly have a HTTPS or just HTTP?
Oh, probably got
Either.
HTTPS, I think.
Yeah.
Either will work.
This is 197 bucks, but for everybody here, and once you click it, it's only good for 15 minutes. It's $33. And I don't know who, there's only one door prize, but this is kind of a sneaky thing that I'm not supposed to say, because if you do buy the $33 mini course, there is a button that nobody else can get, and getting one of these sessions with me for free as well. So
Awesome. Thank you
let me
very much.
see, visibility formula. There you go. Or you can just hire me and we can give you a smoking hot brand.
That's just what we want, isn't it?
But does anybody have any other questions? Huh?
So who was that? Sharon, was it?
Yeah, Steph, hey, how you going? Great to see you here. I think wealth of knowledge, love it. You talked about avatars and all this, and I'm just going to put you on this one as well. How do you decide, you've done your avatars, you've done your customers, how do you decide on your corporate colors for your branding?
Well, when I never, ever, ever, ever design a logo without having a strategy session, because I need to know. And I usually don't work with startups. I work with people who have already been in business and they've been around the block. They've had clients, so they know what kind of clients they don't like and which ones are their favorite. They know what services are their favorite and what's the most profitable. They know what they want to focus on, or maybe they need help with that, but they've been around a bit, so they're not fresh out of the gate. It's a different strategy for startups, but I'm mostly focused on people who've been in business, because you have a lot more going on with the questions I ask and what we dive into. So when we get the strategy and we figure out the vibes of your brand, the personality, we get the character, we work out your values, what you really stand for, and how that's going to infuse throughout everywhere, how you actually operate, and it includes your team as well and how they operate in your business. And then we figure out your voice, messaging, and the logo and the colors. They practically design themselves for me. I'm gonna say it, I don't care if it sounds wooey, but I have like pretty much a 99% track record that when I do a session with a client, I can see the logo by the end of it, and I always only present one logo, and I did a whole presentation with my client, and I get it every time. Only once I've had to make a small change was change the font color from gray to black. And it designs itself once you go through this the right direction. Most people, we've all been taught. I'm on the older side, so you know, back in the day, you get your logo, you get your business card, your letterhead, website, off you go. Go network, go sell your shit, right? That doesn't give me any strategy. What do I do next? What the hell comes next? I have no idea. You need the strategy so you have a direction, you have clarity. They're clear, you're clear, everybody's having a big happy party. And the colors will come out of it. When you have a character, like say the painter, my client was a painter, he was like thinking red or gray or something, you know, he just wanted to be, you know, tradey stuff, but he wanted that next level. The colors that we came out with were awesome. It was like this deep burnt orange, gray, black, a really dark teal color, ocean, and then this other blue. And it is just so James Bond, high level, confident, you know, premium looking brand. That came out of the strategy session. If I started with the logo, it would not have looked like that. So that's how the colors come, right? So I don't know if that helps you right now, but if you dive into it with my process, the colors will pretty much announce themselves to us.
Are there any surprises in the colors as well? Like, are there any surprises? Like, do you find that people's favorite colors tend to be their brand colors, or are they sort of surprisingly different?
It's both. It depends, because there are some businesses where it's a female and they're very feminine, their clientele's feminine. It's a very soft feeling brand and they really like pinks and golds and it works out. And then there's people who have a lady who does mobile massages and she really liked this teal color with green and stuff. And then after doing all my research and our strategy, our color palette's completely different, because what she thought massage and her clients ended up working out to be like more of a sports massage. So we need to appeal to really, you know, male fitness, performance driven, making an impact. So the color palette's completely different. So it's got these blues and grays and blacks with a splash of this like neon pink, like a Nike shoe. Oh, it's freaking awesome. So it's both. It could be left field and it could be their favorite colors, but I will never ever ask you when designing a website or a logo what your favorite colors are, because I don't care. You are not buying from yourself, other people are buying from you. You need to appeal to them. Does that help?
Yes. So your branding's really not for you, it's for them.
Exactly. You're not your customer. Oh my God, I have the funniest story. There was a guy, he does angel care. He picks up people. He's got this van that picks up people from old, I don't want to say old, with the wheelchair, you know, the vans. He does transport. He is absolutely into goth and graveyards, and he wanted his whole website to be like all this goth. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're going to be transporting 80 and 90-year-olds and have a freaking graveyard website? You're going to get nobody. This is legit real. Can you believe that? No, I'm going to say no.
I suppose it depends what your character's like, you know, if you really want to
So yeah, you're not your customer. Your customers are your customer.
You're not being carried only one way.
Oh, that's classic. Anyone else got any other questions? This is your time to really get sort of stuck into branding. Go and ask Steph about your own brand and ask her to help you while you're here. Anyone bold or brave enough?
Hi, Steph. It's Barbie. I know Nick's got me up as Barbara there, but I haven't been called Barbara for 30 years.
Oh, that's not me. That's your profile.
Anyway, it's Barbie here, Steph. I've got two, I think you know who I am, right? But I've got two parts to myself. One is designing jewelry, and the other is a feng shui consultant. So they both have a link with, because we're talking energy and flow and all that sort of thing. So that's the common denominator. But, you know, you're appealing to two different things. Like I do feng shui for businesses, and I do feng shui for home, and I do feng shui for home offices. So they can be, you know, quite sort of linked into the business side of it, whereas jewelry is more to do with the crystal jewelry, what it does, and so on and so forth. And my background is corporate, so I've been in that hardcore world of architecture and international sports management. So I know the stresses that actually happen in corporate life. But just talking branding, they're two sort of different things. So I have to obviously come up with two different characters, I would think, when you're talking tonight.
Yes. I would say most definitely you should have two separate businesses. You can mention them to each other, refer to them, link them up, but I would keep them as two separate businesses because they are going to attract different people. You might get people who will need your feng shui, you know, even on like a more like higher end as well. And the jewelry thing might not appeal to them. You don't want to, when you talk about repelling an audience and really attracting an audience, it's different than sort of thing where you don't want to repel actual legit ideal clients because of another side of your business. I can't really see that happening for you because they are, you know, crystals, feng shui, that whole energetic spiritual type thing going on. But I would definitely, when you're speaking and doing your messaging and showing up, being visible with your brand, I would definitely create two characters, one for each.
Okay, thank you. Yep. Because I am talking, I'm doing.
And it's not like you have to be.
You go.
It's not like you have to be split personality or anything, because they will be quite similar. It's basically when you show up, like doing an ad or doing a promo poster or talking about your stuff, you're going to talk slightly different according to what your subject matter is. I wouldn't put both things in one post, keep it completely separate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that makes sense?
I do that. Yeah, I do that. Because I'm actually like, I'm getting lots because of this lockdown we're getting. I'm getting lots of calls to do Zoom presentations on feng shui. And again, it's this Monday, which is in a big corporate area with, you know, your lawyers and your accountants and all that sort of stuff. Because of my background of architecture, and that's actually where I learnt feng shui. So we were dealing with Asian clients and we were building $350 million buildings, and they wouldn't deal with, they wouldn't have a design done unless there was a feng shui master there, and I was lucky enough to be that. So my background comes from that point. So I get what you say, actually. I think you've actually just convinced me. I was going down that track anyway, that they're two different things, really. Yeah. Thank you.
Trust yourself.
Yeah, thanks.
You were right.
Thanks, Steph.
Sashwa.
I've got a question.
One
drinking time. Hi there, Steph. I'm Sashwa. I'm from Living Illumination. Hi there. I was really interested that you made the point about people being afraid to niche down, and I'm definitely in that category. You know, I find myself either calling myself a personal and business energy coach, which is really kind of generic because there's so many business coaches out there. And then just lately, I've been getting the impression to maybe drill down into one specific area that I do, which could be a blockage release specialist. So I work with people on an energy level, soul-centered personal development, from more of a corporate perspective, because that's my background. So it's very practical, and I'm networking mostly with, you know, small business people. So yeah, just wondered if we could explore the being afraid to niche down point that you made, please.
Well, when you speak to everyone, you become something that people scroll past because you're not talking to them. If you personal and business, that is way too broad. That's pretty much everyone. Pick one. Which one do you like the best?
Yeah.
Which one is the most, you know, which one do you enjoy the most? Which
one pays the most?
Yeah. A profit does come into play. You know, you get people who say, oh, it's not about the money. Well, then you'd be a hobby and not be running a business, coming to events like this, learning
Avoid
shit.
the time wasters.
Actually, if I can, I've got a story that I can share about niching. This is a true story too. And this was from my time in Wellington, and there was a real estate agent there who he didn't like work, and so when he got into real estate, he you know, when you go into real estate, you get given a patch to farm, and so you put all your flyers out and brochures, and he's all over the place putting these out and getting sort of trying to sort of appeal to all of the city. And he just found himself driving around all the time and wasting all this time. He said, oh, well, blow that. He said, I'm just going to focus in the city. So he decided just to focus in the city, and he was only going to sell inner city products. So any other properties, he would just refer out to everybody else that was in his team. He was only going to deal in the inner city. As soon as he did that, he started making money. So because he got known to be the the real estate agent that knew the inner city, and then he sort of found that even so, he was still driving around. There was a lot of work involved in servicing this whole city. So then he decided to niche down to just apartments. So I only sold apartments, and as soon as he did that, his income doubled. So he wasn't doing warehouses. He wasn't doing like the old shacks that were in the city. It was only apartments, and he used to flick off all the rest. And what he found was that not only did his income double, but real estate agents that were in his office used to refer clients to him that wanted to buy apartments or sell apartments. So they wouldn't take it themselves, they'd refer it to him. So he became the expert in the office, but also became the expert in the public's eyes. And so then he ended up went through the process a number of times until he specialised in only one specific type of apartment, and that was one-bedroom apartments that were duplex apartments. So there were two one-bedroom apartments just next to each other which shared a common lobby. And he was making over $1 million a year in commissions just selling that, because what he found was that the developers that were building these things would come to him to sell it because he was the expert in this. People that were looking to buy it would come to him because he was the expert in it. And the amount of work that he had to do, he virtually did when I say he did no work, he didn't actually have to do much. He just had to connect the buyers and the sellers together, and it was compared to the rest of the agents that were running around and driving around everywhere, working sort of 60, 70, 80 hours a week for an income of around, I think it was an average income of about $40,000. They were earning $30,000 to $40,000 a real estate agent. He could get by with 20 hours a week of work and make over $1 million a year just by niching down to that one niche. And one of the other agents said, but you've done that. The economy is going to change, and at some point you might find that these apartments are out of favour. They're not going to sell anymore. And he said, then you're screwed. And he said, well, I'm not really, because he said, all I'll do then is I'll go and find another niche like that and do it exactly the same thing. He said, houses are always going to be bought and sold. I just need to find out where I'm going to be. And so that was an example of someone that I know that made over $1 million by niching down to something that was very, very specific.
There are plenty of people like that. It's scary, but when you do it and you start talking to that one person in that niche, and this is what I do because I am good at it. I usually work with service-based businesses. When you get past the fear of like, oh, but I can help anybody, nobody will listen.
Yeah.
They won't understand. They won't get it, because you just watering it down is to make them think, oh, whoa, shit, she's talking about me. Look a little closer, stop and read what you're saying. And it'll be harder for you to articulate how you can help a particular type of person with a particular problem that they need solved.
Yeah.
Experts, specialists, your zone of genius. You need to work out what is at the top of that list and go for it.
Because you can always pivot from there.
Yes, exactly.
When things change.
Yes,
but the thing is that Steph's right, is that 100% right, that you need to focus down and people need to know you for that first.
Yeah, because I'm definitely trying to be all things to all people, and I've only been in this particular area.
You'll make no money.
Exactly, because I've only been here
You'll
for
be
about
burnt
6
out,
months.
struggling to get clients. Fuck that.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be easy. Let's make it easy.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Steph, and thanks, Nick.
And another bit of advice there is that if you do, and I'm not going to say if, when you do, because you're going to do it.
Yes.
don't give up too soon. A lot of people give it a go for a few weeks or month and say it's not working. You gotta get people to know that you're this expert. You have to show up and talk about, I do this for business people, and this is exactly what I do. I don't do, what is it you do again? I'm very sorry.
It's the brand.
That's
I
it.
remember.
So living illumination, soul-centered personal development.
Okay, see, first, what if you were my client and we sat down, the first thing I would say is, will you please define that for me? Because I have no idea what that means.
Exactly, yeah. And because it is a bit left of middle and not a normal conversation that people are used to hearing, then it does take explaining. And the message always lands, but I literally have to read people's energy to pick the right words for that particular client. And that goes against what you've been talking about tonight, which is consistency. So it still lands, but I'm recreating the script every time I talk to someone.
You can talk about it being, it's personalized and custom for each person, but there is a general identity to the type of people that you work with.
Yeah.
If you really dive deep into who they are, they're going to have some common denominators that you can speak to. And just clarifying your tagline or your business, your little sentence of what you do will change everything, because that means nothing. Like, I don't know what that means. Like,
yes.
what do? You need to spell it out. People have like minimal brain space, especially when they're scrolling all day long. You need to make it crystal clear, so they can see it and go, oh, I'll read more, and then explain it down further and say, hey, I'd like to tell you more about this. This is custom tailored to you. There's ways of going about it. But you need to narrow down who these people are.
Yep.
Some common factors about them, and talk to that.
Yep. Fantastic. Thank you. You've inspired me. I'm going to take the leap of faith.
Awesome. Anyone else got a question or something they're pondering about their own brand or a business? This is your time to get it answered.
I have a question, Nick.
Yeah.
It sort of goes to the comment that the buyers in corporate are likely to be the secretaries and the PAs. We've actually lost business because while we've been successful in marketing to those people at that level, invariably the person who signs the check comes in and says, they bring their own values to the equation, and they say, well, that sounds like a lot of money for a box of chocolates, or it's too hot, we won't be able to deliver them, or they find some excuse and the business has fallen through. So you can't, the PAs are the gatekeepers, so you need to appeal at that level, but you've also got to give a convincing message to the owners of the business, who are often the people who make the final decisions. So it's a complex message because there's two people in the one organisation, and I'm not sure that it's two avatars in that case. It's a message that has two different parts to it. Is that the way you would see it, Steph?
Well, hold on. I can't look at my giant face. I had to go back to gallery view. Sorry. What you need to do in this instance is you need to work on how you're talking to that personal assistant in a way that she becomes a raving fan for you, where she is so convinced and so 100% on these chocolates being the perfect thing. What is it for? Like client gifts?
Yeah, typically at Christmas time, that's where the business happens.
Yeah, okay.
Speaker gifts or conferences, or
you can come at it with your messaging, use some kind of a marketing strategy that comes at it where your clients, like a corporate person's clients, are worth so much in the long run, and giving them something that is of like high value and that they know it will make them feel way more valued. You need to make your PAs a raving fan, because she can convince them, the CEO, of it doesn't matter how much it is, this is what we're getting them. Yeah. Have you ever been to a restaurant that you absolutely loved and you told your friends about how awesome it was? You became the best salesperson for that restaurant over any ad, right? They're like, I have had this. Maybe give a sample box to the secretary. You know, here's a couple of bits for you for every taste. You know, give them to the CEO. And then if they're really that good and that amazing and they look beautiful, sell them on it.
Now, one of the terms that has been used is customer retention. And it's a very important part of business, that it's easier to hold customers than it is to find new ones. So, you know, the gifts are seen to be a way of retaining customers, or a small token. And I guess the chocolates are a bit like a metaphor for the values of the business. You know, they're not dirty and grungy, they're fine and exquisite, like a business would like to be seen. So, you know, it works really well as a metaphor, but we have had instances where, yes, we have fans in the PAs, but they are not, they're not necessarily speaking the same message that we're giving them. To the
How much is a corporate client worth?
Oh, several $1,000s.
Okay, would it be worth it maybe if you got a no to go ahead and send a gift box to the CEO?
Yes, and we've done that.
To maybe like bribe them a little and see how yummy they are, you know, and give them a little bit more marketing where you're talking now. You can change your message and say, this is for you. And this is why, you know, and then you're not talking to the secretary. You're going to articulate your copy and messaging to talk to the CEO with a gift box that can make you thousands of dollars. It's just thinking out. I mean, everybody's always going to, but there are ways that you might be able to counter it.
Yeah, thank you.
And then you can articulate. Did I freeze?
Yeah, got you back.
Does that help?
Thank you.
Can I just add to that, Steph? Marty,
does that help?
I was just going to step in and just say that something that might help you from a strategy point of view as well with what Steph was saying is if you're dealing with your CEOs from a corporate space, are you connected with them on LinkedIn?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay. A great strategy and tool is to connect with them on LinkedIn because the CEOs are there, and send a private message to them, and then let them know that you're sending a special, like what Steph said, a chocolate box to them, and then they will be they'll understand what you're sending, and then that's going to get you past the gatekeeper. It's just a strategy, just a suggestion. It adds on to what Steph was saying to help you.
Okay, thank you.
It's probably worth that book that I spoke about LinkedIn, really worth you reading because that'll really help with that strategy. Like LinkedIn is probably one of the most underutilized strategies for small business. Like it's known for corporate, but small business can really do some great things with LinkedIn. And it's only because they don't understand it. Everyone understands Facebook and Instagram, but LinkedIn is just sort of one of those beasts that no one quite sort of understands unless you're in, you know, the corporate world. They tend to understand, well, they don't understand it, but they tend to understand the use of it a bit more. Got another question here from Eddie, who's on the call here, and he's asking, Steph, what exactly do you mean by brand characters? Are you referring to the cartoon character type of thing, or an abstract definition of a character? So just wanting you to elaborate on that a bit more. And just for example, you know, just with regards to say the bikewear character that you're speaking about for Perfuro gear, like is it a cartoon thing? Or is it something more abstract? What is it?
It's a little bit of neither, actually. It's giving your brand an identity. Whether you use the word character or persona, or, you know, think of it like an actor. How does that actor show up, and what does he say? How does he play that character when brand is speaking. Like most of us are our brands, right? Like our business is ours. It may have a different company name, but we're the ones behind it. So who are we turning into? You want to give it personality traits. Like my brand has like, you know, bold, sassy, fun, totally upfront, tell you like it is. It's not going to resonate with some people, and that's okay, because I've been doing this I've had this company for 16 years. I don't want to work with everybody, and I know that. If that doesn't gel with you, we're probably not going to have a good business relationship. Or we will, but it'll be kind of painful, right? So when you give your brand a character and it's like a person, it's going to attract people. You want to hang out with people you like. You hang out with, you know, I don't want to hang out with that guy. He's not my kind of dude, or that girl. Like, no, we aren't going to gel. So it's all about client attraction. Repelling and attracting is basically why you want to have a character, because it's no longer, we're not in an age where people are buying from a company. They want to buy from the human element of it. They want to read the story behind it. They want to connect with you as a human being, especially now that everything's online and we're not hanging out. Like, we still do networking events, but the online social media thing is gone crazy at the moment. It's the only thing we can do right now. So you need to be more human than ever before. So you're not just Jungle Design Studios. It's the person, it's the character. So it's not a cartoon character, and it's not it could be a little bit abstract, but you want to give it like a persona, a personality that people can like gel with. Probably said a lot of words to like, could have been one sentence.
No, I think that was helpful, actually. And it's one of those things, and hopefully that was helpful for you too, Eddie. It's just one of those things that's really hard to struggle with, and I know that I struggle with it, being the business owner, and knowing what my skills and capabilities are, and sort of knowing, I know who I don't want to work with, but then being able to define sort of who it is that really are working with, and it's that thing of skill and passion versus you know, sort of the clients that you like and are happy to work with, and possibly hang out and have a drink with. So like, and it's, you know, your business becomes part of your identity, but should your business be part of your identity, or should it be quite separate?
It depends. It depends on how much of your business is you, how big it is, how many team members you have, and how much of a separate entity. Like, if you're not emotionally attached to it and you plan on selling it and you want to make it this awesome, well-oiled machine with all the systems and processes, it's going to be a different identity, right? You might be infused into it, but you have to think, you want to future think. You don't want to have the short game in your head. You want to have a long game as well. And, you know, if that's your goal, is to sell this thing and step away from it, you need to be able to step away from it. So it's not all you. Someone else can take over it, right? God, what was I going to say? It just left my brain. Come back, come back. Oh,
well, Nick,
I hate.
Nick,
Huh?
your business isn't you anyway. But the thing is that with probably 100% of your clients, I know, because I'm there, is that they don't understand their customers at all, and they want, and as you know, trying to do copy for their website or anything, it's always their point of view, and it's never what really needs to be there. You know, so.
Yeah, I sort of think
I don't know what I was going to say.
that sort of when it comes to that sort of thing, everybody should see a Steph first, and then it makes the website of things a whole lot easier.
It's always easier to talk to somebody about it. It's so hard to get this out of your head. I'll be fully transparent. I have a brand coach. I have somebody that helps me, because when I sit down to do this stuff for myself, I don't know.
Yeah, professionals
it's so
have
hard.
coaches.
It's hard.
Coaches have coaches. Yeah, that's right.
but I can do it for other people. Like, it just comes out and it's amazing. It's the best thing in the world. I love doing this stuff so much. And I know who I like to work with and who I don't. So that's the thing with being in business. Start to figure out the more people you work with, the kind of people you don't want to work with. And the more experience you have, you also realize it's not worth the money. Have you ever had a client where you're like, can you take all of your money back and never call me again? Ever? Lose my number, blocked, take it back, I don't want anything to do with you. The more experience you have on both sides of the coin, the easier it is to articulate who you want to work with. And it's just a matter of deep diving into that shit. And it's hard to do on your own. Mm. You can do some of it, but getting really into it, it's good to have help.
All right, so got a question here from from Karen. I love it. Can Steph offer a special to work with Nick's clients? There you go. We won't put you on the spot there.
What does that mean? Like your clients, special?
My clients, yes. Karen, who's here, Karen Clark, who's on, she said, have you got a special for working with my clients, as in my clients? She's looking for a special for herself because she's thinking...
No, I'm not, Nick. I was just thinking when Steph was talking, like, and sorry, the other gentleman, I'm not sure what his name was, that clearly everyone who comes to you really, and he said, clients have no idea what they want, that they like Steph is the ideal person for them, you guys to work together.
Actually, Steph's the ideal person as a strategic relationship. So yeah, I get what you're saying now, which is absolutely right.
That's what I mean.
So if I can say, right, we're going to work with
go
you.
See Steph.
But first you have to go and see Steph.
Yeah.
You need a brand manager first, someone that can define your avatar properly.
I will tell you what, I'm not trying to like...
Go on, do it anyway.
Branding horn here, but I'm kind of gonna. I will save you money. When you have an ads manager, a website designer and developer, and you have a copywriter or a social media manager, anybody that works on your brand, if you see me first, the strategy document I give to you, you give to them, everything they put out will be so on brand that you won't even, it will save you money from having to test and measure ads and shit that don't work. They love me. They love me. I have people like Nick. I used to do websites. I don't so much anymore. I prefer to do funnels, like straight up targeted stuff. But if you get your strategy done first, this is the document you give to everybody that works on your brand. So everything sounds the same no matter who works on it. It's got the same values, the same personality, the same voice. It's the same thing. People know straight up, I know you.
Yeah.
I've known you. I can refer people to you. I want to buy from you. I want to hire you. I like you. I hate you.
Like Apple.
It saves money. I've talked to a lot of marketing and ads campaign managers who send people to me first because you don't know. Like, Nick, you would know this, doing websites for 15 years. A website could be done in like a couple days or a week. Waiting for the copy turns it into a year-long goddamn project. Holy shit. Copy is the worst thing. Give me your content.
And then to fix it.
You can't do it. They don't know. People, has to do with like what you were talking about this morning on your video, Nick. Like, here's a logo. Here's 6 logos. Tell me which one you like best and give me any feedback. And then they go and put it in a Facebook group. Which one do you like best? If I could throw a hand grenade into that post, I would. That is the worst thing in the world. I am giving away my expert knowledge and putting it in your court, who hired me because you don't know, to putting the choice back on you. No, that's my job. I do what I need to do to get what I need to design you the perfect thing, to create this perfect strategy that will get you seen, heard, and paid by your ideal clients. Like, I'm not going to give you 6 logos and say, what do you think? How do you know? Otherwise you would have done it yourself, right? So yeah, Same with websites, like I would never design a website and give the content to the client. When you get a strategy done, this shit writes itself. Put it in a document, give it to your web designer, give it to Nick, give it to your ad person. They've got everything they need.
And that is just absolute magic for a web developer.
I'm telling you, you guys love me.
Yep.
Copywriters love me. Ad managers love me. They're like, oh, thank you so much. Because the clients don't know. They don't know. It's hard.
Dave's already fallen in love with you. Well, and Sharon as well. All of us.
I went
Should
through.
have taken that photo, I reckon, with the tongue out. That's it. Dick, did you grab that?
Awesome. All right. Well, we are now sort of out of time, man. That sort of went quick. So it's good to 8. So we're pretty much done. I could actually sort of spend quite a bit more time with you just talking through this Steph. So maybe we might just do that one day. So we'll have a couple of drinks and we'll talk some more. So thanks very much for coming along and sharing your knowledge and your wisdom. And yeah, there's some awesome stuff. In fact, I took a whole lot of notes as well too. So
good. And don't forget that link, $33.
$33, absolutely. So I'm going to jump on that link. So that's it for today.
Wait.
The Business Owners Smashing Online
Prize.
for the draw. Is that what you were going to say?
Yes.
Yes, I hadn't forgotten that. So we're on to the draw next. So we've got a special way of doing this prize draw for those that have been here before. And if I can just pull it up. Okay, we have, let's just share the screen again. And we've got all of the names of people that showed up in here. So this is our special wheel of names. So this wheel of names here has got all the names here. And so what we'll do is we're going to spin this. So, whoop, can you still see that?
Nope.
Oh, I just moved it out of frame. Can you see that now? Oh, hang on. Can you see that now?
Yep, there we go.
All right. So let's spin the wheel and see what happens. Oh, what is the prize while we're sort of drawing it?
I'm giving you you can pick my brain and ask me anything consulting session, and we will solve a problem straight there. No pitch.
Awesome.
$197, yours for free.
Fantastic. And remember, you have to be here to win it. So is Lisa here? She is not. All right. So we redraw. So those
You
that are
scared
here,
her
let's
away, Steph.
spin it again. Oh, and it's Debbie. Is Debbie here? I think she might have disappeared too. Is she here? Right. No, Debbie here.
Way
All right.
past their bedtime.
I am here. I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here. I'm
There you
here.
are. All right. Boy, I missed you there. So congratulations. Debbie is the winner.
Thank you.
So let's get rid of that applause. So you get to spend a whole lot of time with Steph to ask her absolutely anything you want and to get your brand on point or your point on brand or get your business of making money and those customers flowing in. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. All right. So thank you very much, everyone, for showing up and participating tonight. And thank you for Steph for sort of joining us tonight and sharing your knowledge and wisdom. Let me get off share. So the next event is next Tuesday. And the speaker, we're just confirming the speaker at the moment. So we'll announce that out on social media. But if you do want to book the link, which hopefully JM, if you're still here, if you can drop that into chat, it is POSBIZ, POSBIZ. .in hyphen BOSIO, BOSIO. BOSIO stands for Business Owners Smashing It Online. So just go to that link. I'm not sure if he's here. Let's have a look. You still here, JM? I've got both of my VAs on here. My wonderful VAs are on here. So so they spend their evenings sort of with us at the moment. So Jane will throw that into chat. Now, one thing I should say, save the chat. If you want to save the chat, if you have a look at the bottom, if you click the chat icon at the bottom, and at the bottom right of the chat, you'll see 3 little dots. If you click those 3 little dots, you'll be able to save it. So in that chat there, you've got Steph's number and email address, and all the questions. And so if you want to come back and sort of chat further, then you'll have it all there, so saved. The other thing I would like to say too is anyone that knows, thinks that there's an awesome guest speaker out there that should be on this Business Owners Smashing It Online, let me know. Just shoot me a message on Facebook or however you like. I'm on Facebook Messenger. You'll find me there. Just shoot me a message, and happy to approach them, and mention the program as well too, so they know who we are as well. Apart from that, if you are not a member of Business Owners Smashing It Online Facebook group, go there now and join it, and you'll get a whole lot of gold and magic in that group as well too, and get to meet some awesome people. But other than that, thanks Steph, thanks everyone. Go out and have a great night, have a great week, and we'll see you back here next Tuesday. See you later.
Thank you.